Can we get a round of applause for Sean and Mendel, or Sean and Tony, doing this event? Sean, appreciate it, guys. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Benjamin, CEO and founder here at Bolt Deals, and I run a marketing company. And I'm going to show you exactly how we scale wholesalers from $0 to $100,000 per month and beyond that. So with that said, I want to start off with why wholesalers get stuck at 2 to 3 deals per month, right? And breaks down to 4 main pillars. The first one is poor marketing, right? You can't generate a consistent flow of motivated seller leads who need to sell as opposed to just wanting to sell. And on top of that, you can't do it consistently. The second thing is your sales process, right? Generating leads is one thing, but actually converting them into contracts and deals is another thing. The third thing is low performing team. There are so many wholesalers that I speak to where they think their team is good, but they don't get anything done. So the question is, are they really good? In my opinion, no. And final thing is lack of data integrity, right? So everybody knows they should be tracking KPIs, but nobody knows what KPIs to track and how to use that data to actually scale, right? And I got this data from speaking to a little over 3,200 real estate investors over the last year. So that's my experience and the people that I've spoken with, right? So we're gonna be covering a few things today, right? The first thing is our exact inbound marketing strategy on Facebook and Google Ads on how we scale wholesalers to $100,000 per month and beyond. For context, our biggest client right now is doing about $500,000 per month in assignment fees, and we run his marketing. So second thing is the exact sales process that we use to help our clients convert 1 out of every 10 to 15 sellers that come in and reduce seller's remorse, right? So if you guys don't know what seller's remorse is, it's basically when you get a seller under contract and then they call you up the next day and they back out, right? It sucks, right? Third thing is how we attract A players to actually work for us and reduce team turnover, right? So acquisition managers, disposition managers, how do we actually hire them? How do we vet them? What are we looking for? And make sure that they don't leave us for a competitor, right? Because that would suck. Feels like getting cheated on, right? The final thing is how we quote unquote predict the future of our business and scale with clarity using data to make the right decisions. That's great, but who the hell am I, right? Like I said, my name is Benjamin, CEO and founder here at Bolt Deals. I started this company when I was 15. I'm 20, I'm not 19 anymore, I'm 20 now. So that's almost 5 years. In the last almost 5 years, we have $15 million in documented assignment fees. We have clients that do anywhere from 2 deals per month on the low end to as many as 40 deals per month on the high end. And as of last month, we've managed a little over $520,000 per month in ad spend across Facebook and Google, right? For the people that care about the numbers, client success KPIs, which I define as, or client success rate, which I define by a client having a minimum of a 3x return on their investment. 86% client satisfaction is 91% NPS Net Promoter Score. If you guys don't know what that is, it's basically a survey you can ask your customers and your team to know how many of them are willing to promote you to their friends, other investors, etc. That's 8.5 out of 10, and average client ROAS is 4.7x in a 90-day time horizon. So for example, if a client comes with me, in 90 days, they can expect to get $4.70 out for every dollar they put in. And my mission here with you guys is to document and share the best practices on how to scale to $100,000 per month in profit without the blood, sweat, and tears that me and my clients have gone through. That's cool. But how do you generate leads that convert into deals? And because of that, I want to talk about marketing. Let's start with what I define marketing as, right? To me, marketing is making yourself known to qualified prospects. And if you're a wholesaler, it would be sellers who need to sell as opposed to just wanting to sell. When it comes to implementing it, there's 2 strategies you can use. The first one is outbound marketing. So this is cold calling, text blasting, things like that. And then there's inbound marketing. So you use Facebook ads, Google ads, Bing ads, things of that sort. And the result of marketing is leads or sales opportunities, which are people you can contact, right? So they give you their phone number or their email. So the question you may have is, should you use inbound marketing or outbound marketing? And obviously with both, they have their pros and cons. So let's talk about each of them. Let's start with outbound marketing. The pros is that it's cheaper, right? You're just buying data, hire some VAs for $5 an hour. It's beginner friendly, right? So if you're just getting into wholesaling, I know there's a few new people, Tito's somewhere. Tito, there you are. Yeah, so if you're newer, you're starting out, cold calling is great. That's what I would recommend before diving into inbound marketing. The cons of it that I personally don't like is that it's extremely time intensive. I'm not a fan of cold calling. I don't like it. There's lots of variables, right? You can get a bad list. Your VA might not know what they're doing. The CRM might be broken. The phone numbers are going to spam. There's too many variables, and I don't want to deal with that. Another thing I don't like about it is that the cash conversion cycle takes a little too long, right? So industry average, it takes about 6 months to close a deal with cold calling. And finally is poor conversion rates. If you were to put a number to it, see Matthias, the average lead to contract rate is about 1 out of 50, right? And that's a lot of leads to sift through to close a deal, in my opinion, at least. With inbound marketing, which is what we specialize in, we notice it to have the highest conversion rates as measured by, which is what A and B stands for, a lead to contract percentage. So if you're getting 10 leads, you should theoretically at least close one of them. Fastest cash conversion cycles. So instead of taking 180 days or 6 months to get a deal, you can close a deal on average in 3 months or less. Bureau assignment fees, right? The average assignment fee from my experience, from investors that I speak to before they work with us, is anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000. But with inbound marketing, we can get that up to anywhere from $15,000 to as high as $100,000, right? It's easy to scale. The best part is you don't have to deal with people. So scaling it's a button. You spend more money and all of a sudden you get more leads. It's crazy how the concept works. Automated process. Again, you're not dealing with people and you just let Facebook or Google do its thing. So you don't have to deal with VAs, worry about like hurricanes or whatever the case is. The cons, it's very expensive, not only if you do it wrong, but also if you work with the wrong person. High barrier of entry, right? Obviously, for a lot of our clients starting out, they're spending anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000 per month starting out. So, and you have to eat that cost for 3 months, which is the average cash conversion cycle. So if you can't stomach that, I would not recommend it to start off with. Finally, it's not beginner friendly. So inbound marketing, like I said, it sounds risky, but how do you reduce chances of failure with inbound marketing, right? There's 4 ways. As always, first one is running it with a bad person, right? There's an analogy, if you guys like Top Gun, it's not the plane, it's the pilot, right? So if you're running it with somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, you should expect to not get results, right? Second thing is markets and location targeting. This is one of the biggest mistakes that I see people run into. They are not targeting good markets, right? If you're going to target like Midland or Odessa, Texas, where there's like 50,000 people, it's going to be a little tricky, right? So buyer activity, right? If there's no buyers in your market, why would you run inbound marketing to it and get contracts which can't close, right? Everybody wants contracts, but if those don't actually go to the closing table, who cares, right? A population for us, we aim to have a market above 1.5 million. Third thing is marketing budget and economics. Similar to cold calling, inbound marketing is strictly economics. It's numbers, right? You put $1 in, you get $4 out. At least that's the goal, right? Most investors that I speak to, the reason why they fail is they're not spending enough, right? If on average in your market, for example, I'm from Houston, so I can speak in Houston, average cost per deal is like $3,000 and you're spending $1,500 a month, but the goal with spending that much is to get 2 deals per month, the numbers don't line up, right? So people will try and not spend enough, and whenever they don't get deals, they're like, inbound marketing doesn't work. No, your economics don't work. And another thing I'll add to this, it's similar to cold calling, right? If I told you can cold call 10 people a day, it's going to take you forever to close a deal, but if I told you can cold call 100 people a day, it's going to be a little bit quicker, right? So inbound marketing is the same thing. Expectations, right? You will see some gurus, influencers, talk about how they scale to 5, 10 deals per month, 20 deals per month, running just Facebook or PPC. And it's possible, right? But if you're just starting out, it's very highly unlikely that you're going to hit 15 deals in the next month and a half, spending $3,000 a month. However, it is possible because we've done it. There's the proof, right? So those 4 things, those are our pre-launch checklist, right? So you want to get your markets, you want to make sure you're working with the right partner, your budgets are aligned, and your expectations are in check, right? Let's talk about actually launching our campaigns, right? So there's a few main things. Like I said, we run Facebook and Google ads primarily, and the goal here, and you're going to see why understanding the objective is pretty important, but the goal here is to generate sellers who are serious, not curious, right? Sellers who need to sell as opposed to just wanting to sell, sellers who say yes to less, right? Because you want a big enough discount, that way you can get these $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 assignment fees, right? And here's how we do it. Before I share and dive deep into how we do it, I'll share what we don't do. We don't like to run ads targeting specific or generic we buy houses, cash offer as is ads that you guys see, because those are too generic, right? If I gave you 200% ARV on your house, you'd probably take it, right? It's still a cash offer. So for us, we like to target people with specific pain points and motivations. And as a result, lead cost will be a little bit more, but so is the quality. And 100% of the time, our clients are willing to make that trade, right? So we run ads targeting people that go do foreclosure, people who can't make their mortgage payments, for creative finance, subject to deals, tired landlords. We also have ones in regard to tax delinquents and fire damaged properties. Once we have our ad, we actually have to capture that those leads, right? Because they click and it goes to a landing page or a lead form. So for us, the entire objective of our landing page or a lead form is to capture that lead, right? Get them to submit their information. And the way we run our funnel is a 3-step funnel, right? The first thing is our survey opt-in. This is where we get their motivation, their timeline, their asking price, are they flexible, is it listed, just questions like that, right? The second form is a property information page, right? That's where we get condition of the property, year construction, bedroom, bathrooms, information about their property. And the third one you guys can see to the far right is a calendar with a book a call option. So we have to give sellers the opportunity to schedule an appointment directly on the acquisition manager's calendar to skip through the entire process because they have all the information right here. So acquisition manager just hops on, runs the numbers, and hopefully closes it out, right? And a final bonus is that on the thank you page, so I guess step 4, is we give sellers the opportunity to call us directly. And when we've tried this, we've noticed that our lead to contact rates has skyrocketed because everybody talks about speed to lead, which I will in a second here. But when a seller is calling you, all you have to do is answer your phone and hopefully close it out, right? So the second objective, I should say, with our landing page is that we want to route them through our system, right? For example, or I guess a better way is qualifying leads. And the way we do that is conditional logic. And if you guys don't know what conditional logic is, we're able to route sellers differently to different pages based off of their answers. So for example, if you have a question like, are you looking to sell your property? And they click no, we're not going to want them to book a call with us. At least I wouldn't, right? It'd be a waste of time. So we can route them to a different page and send that data back to Facebook or Google to train their AI and tell them like, hey, we don't want this guy, we want this guy. So that's what I mean by qualifying leads. And pixel conditioning, again, we're training the pixel. And if you guys don't know, a pixel is a piece of code that you put on your landing page. And the objective of it is 2 things. The first thing is conversion tracking. So tracking, who becomes a lead, who becomes an appointment, who becomes a closed deal. And the second thing is creating your audience. So if you guys have went on Google and searched up like, what's it like chairs near me or patio chairs or something, right? And you go on Facebook and you see all those ads about chairs, that's the pixel at work, right? So now that we talked about how to our ad and our landing page, let's talk about what happens after they submit, right? Obviously, you guys know speed to lead, but I'll tell you guys the importance, right? Harvard and Dripify, which are 2 articles / reputable sources that I look at, state that businesses are 100 times more likely to work with you and buy from you if you contact them within the first 5 minutes, right? So for us and our clients, our KPI is that all of our clients must call their leads within the first 5 minutes of them coming in, because after that drop off is like 70%, and I don't like those odds, right? Another thing is, if obviously most of you guys are all in the Cleveland market, you beat your competitors and close more deals simply by calling your leads faster, right? So it's low leverage and it's easy to do, right? That's launching, right? That's how we set up the campaigns. That's how we set up our landing pages. But let's talk about how we actually scale without diminishing returns. And here's what I mean by that. Many wholesalers that I speak to that that were running inbound marketing, they'll spend $10,000 to get 10 deals, but they'll spend $20,000 a month to get maybe 12 deals. So those are diminishing returns, right? Your costs go up. So here, the goal is to try and prevent that. The first thing we do is data attribution. So with our systems and processes, softwares that we have with our clients, we're able to project exactly which campaigns. So each one of these lines you guys see here are different campaigns. Like we see which, is the best cost per lead, cost per appointment, cost per contract on the far right. And we know based off of this data how to scale, right? Because as you can see right here, campaign 1-2 has the lowest cost per lead. So theoretically, you would want to scale that one because it's the cheapest, but it's gotten us 0 contracts, right? But the one that has gotten us deals are these 2 right here. These are double the cost per lead, but you're also getting deals. So the question is, which one would you rather scale? The one that's getting you cheaper leads or the one that's getting you cheaper deals? Most of the time, it's the one with cheaper deals. And for our clients, we have like spreadsheets and stuff. We can see emails and we just send that data back to Facebook using Conversions API. Second thing, like I said, is pixel conditioning. Like I said, we have softwares where a client will tell us on the far right, as an example, like who closed. He made our life a little difficult because we need the emails. We asked for the emails, but he gives us the addresses, but it's okay, right? So we'll take the emails, we'll find we'll take the addresses and we'll take the emails and we'll send that data back to the pixel, like I mentioned earlier, to train their AI on how to get us better leads. And final thing, how to scale without diminishing returns is consistently testing, right? The way we run our campaigns is three main things. There's our testing campaign, and we always want to test one variable at a time. That way we're not always confused, right? So variables you can test are your audiences. So like what interests, what list works best. Our scaling campaign. So the way the scaling campaign works is that you find your winners. So what are the best winning interests? What are the best creatives? What's the best landing page, headlines, things like that? And we just throw them in a campaign and let Facebook run it. Right, Facebook will figure it out. Facebook is smarter than you think, right? And retargeting campaign. Let's talk about why we run a retargeting campaign. The reason why we run retargeting campaigns is so we can squeeze the juice of the people that are coming in, because these people have already expressed interest, they've already clicked on our ads, and we might as well just, it's low-hanging fruit, and we can get 50 to 60% discounts on the sellers that are coming in, right? Finally, I want to talk about some helpful tips that have served me and our clients. The first one is when it comes to scaling. Scale what's working, turn off the rest, right? Sounds like common sense, but common sense is not so common nowadays. Second thing, define what you're optimizing for. Are you guys optimizing for leads, appointments, contracts, or deals, right? And obviously it should be deals. Scale your campaigns that way using pixel conditioning. Third thing, when it comes to increasing your budget, right? You don't want to just double your ad spend overnight. If you're spending $1,000 a day, don't just $2,000 overnight. That's how you crash your campaigns. We don't want that. So for us, our rule of thumb is 20% budget every 3 to 5 days to ensure consistent growth. And then finally is consistently testing new headlines and creatives. Creatives are simply pictures, videos, whatever the case you guys are running. And David Ogilvy, if you guys don't know who he is, he's one of the world's most famous advertisers and best advertiser in my opinion. And he states that once you've written your headline or your creative, you spend 80 cents of your advertising dollar. And actionable insights for you guys is that you could put all your time into focusing on your headline and your creative. All of this is just marketing, but it's nothing without sales, right? I can give you guys all the leads in the world, but if you guys can't close them, nobody's making money, especially not you guys. So let's talk about our sales process that we use to convert more leads into contracts, get bigger assignment fees, reduce our cash conversion cycle, so close deals a lot quicker, and prevent seller's remorse, right? There's 3 steps. I'm only going to go through 2 for the sake of time. The first one is our qualification call. The second one I'm going to go through is our follow-up call strategy that I don't want to say I pioneered, but it makes me feel good, to convert 20% more leads, right? So, come on now. Okay, so this is our qualification call, and this is typically conducted by one of our lead managers. So our lead managers are typically based in South America or Central America. Those, for me, are what I've noticed works best for us and our clients. And the process, if you guys want the script, just ask me after. I'll send it to you. There's 6 steps. There's an opening and connecting, so it's typically like, hey, how are you? And what got you to click on our ad? And they'll literally tell you exactly like what's going on, and it's awesome. State the agenda. That way they don't overpower you, especially if you're dealing with A-type personalities. Current situation. I've done a lot of call reviews with our clients, and what I've noticed is that whenever we ask them about their current situation, like if I ask you about you first, before your property, it's typically, I don't come off as an asshole, right? Because if I just go straight to your property and don't care about you, you're like, this guy's just here to make money, right? And I don't want that. Set expectations, right? We want to set, and this is how we reduce seller's remorse. We want to set clear expectations so the seller understands from A to Z what that process looks like whenever they're going to work with you and your team, right? Final thing is live transfer or set the appointment. So if your lead manager and your acquisition, so let's say your lead manager is on the phone with somebody and an acquisition manager is twiddling his thumbs. He's not doing anything, right? You can live transfer this. You can call up the acquisition manager and push it through. That way they can get the offer right then and there. So it's quicker. So that's our lead manager script. Now, obviously, we're going to skip the offer call, but we're going to share our feedback call. So I call it a feedback call, but I also have some clients that call it a second voice. So the way it works is, from my experience, it's pretty powerful, right? And you really have to see it to believe it. So let's say Ronnie here is an acquisition manager and he doesn't close a deal, right? No offense, right? Your acquisition or your sales manager, for example, Tito can call him up and be like, hey, I know you spoke to Ronnie earlier this week about selling your property on Main Street. Is that correct? They say yes. Cool. My goal here is not to sell you. I simply just want to get a feedback as to what I could have done better or what we could have done better to earn your business, whether that's now or in the future. And 99.6% of the time, they will tell you, Ronnie did amazing. He was extremely helpful. He cared a lot about me and my situation. But the real issue was, boom, state objection. I'm talking to an agent, got to review the contract. And then you could just take that real objection, cycle it back, handle it, and go for the close, right? All I'm asking is you guys try it, 10, 20 people, and if it doesn't work, you can come back and yell at me, right? But haven't seen that so far, and please don't be the first. Those 2 steps, I guarantee you guys follow those, will help you close 3 to 5 deals per month and do it consistently. But if you're not satisfied yet and you want more, that's exactly what Tony and Sean invited me here for, right? These 2 pillars that I'm going to go through are exactly what takes our clients from 5 deals per month to 20 deals per month and obviously beyond. Get some water. My throat's dry after networking with everybody. Excuse me. But before I dive in, I want to share a quote that has not only served me, but has served our clients as well, right? And it goes like this. If you want to go alone, or if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I'm gonna share with you guys the exact process that we use to build a team of high performers, become a company that your team will actually love to work with, and reduce team turnover, right? Team turnover at scale, once you guys get bigger, is the biggest expense in any company. This, I'm gonna walk you guys through, is called our talent acquisition funnel. First, I have a question. When you guys are in the hiring process, something I would ask you is, why should somebody work with you instead of your competitor? Most people think it's because I'm a nice guy. Maybe it's because of the money. But at the end of the day, your competitor can offer that. And the second you identify that, you want to use that to your advantage to hire people. Maybe you're young and you want to share your experience, right? You're young, you've done a lot, and you can teach somebody. That's what an acquisition manager, from my experience, values. So to prove this, I surveyed some of our biggest clients, the ones that are doing above $200,000 per month in not only revenue, but profit. And I asked them, why did you decide to work at this company? And what made you stay, right? Because in my opinion, bringing people in is the easy part. Keeping them is where is the hard part, right? The first thing is amazing leadership from managers and the executives. Second thing is growth and ascension opportunities. If you really have an A player, they're not only going to want to, they don't want to be closing forever. They want to grow into like sales manager positions, VP of sales, etc. Third thing is there's an alignment in mission, morals, ethics, and core values. So what does this tell us? This tells us that the best performing teams are led by a great leader, right? Or general, war, however you guys want to think about it. They have the most growth and ascension opportunities. That way their team can grow and level up in not only their personal lives, but their professional lives as well. Third thing is there's an alignment between the company's mission and their vision as a person. So with that said, I want to share some leadership and management principles to go a step deeper that have served me, right? The first one is your team does not work for you, you work for them, right? This is why, or people that don't follow that are the reasons why there's a lot of managers that feel like dictators, right? That's from my experience, right? Second one is by Dan Martell. He's an author that wrote a book, Buy Back Your Time. It's one of the best books that I've read in my life. Build the people will build the business. The third thing is have a vision so big, people will make sacrifices to join you and help you accomplish them. And if you guys see on the bottom right there, that guy's Christian Guzman. He owns a company and gym that it's called Alphalete. They do about $100 million a year with 30 people. So I had the privilege of meeting him at his gym. And I asked them, that's where I got that one. Finally, leadership and aligned vision. If you combine those two, you get a high output team that produces regardless of your presence or not. And finally, and this is a bit of a hot take, but the best talent is already working somewhere. The goal for you is to provide them with a better opportunity. So you're not really poaching them, you're providing them with a better opportunity. That's my opinion. So the question then becomes, how do we attract A players to our team or your team, right? The first thing I use is our talent acquisition funnel. I'm not going to play a video here, but if you guys want the slide, just hit me up after. But we create ads targeting acquisition managers that are, not happy. They're not making enough money as they want to. Their managers are treating them like not good. So we want to get in front of them to bring them into our company. We use that using ads, right? Second thing is a talent acquisition funnel. So this is our questionnaire. So it's our survey. So we really want to understand like their experience, what they've done before, why they're a good fit, why they're better than most acquisition managers. We asked them for a 3-minute Loom video. That's my vetting process. I typically look at the acquisition manager's video and see if they're confident, how do they carry themselves, their vocabulary, things like that. And if I like it, we'll transition to the next stage, and then resume. I mean, you can use a resume, but you're a salesperson, so I don't really care too much about that. The third thing is the vetting and the interviewing. So if you guys want to take a picture of this right here, this is my scorecard. So this is exactly what we look for in acquisition managers whenever we're hiring them. So the first column you guys can see is results and outcomes. So we want to set the expectation with the acquisition manager. What are their objectives? Like, what are they here for? What are they supposed to hit? The second one is competencies, like what are they able to do? Third thing is native geniuses, right? Once we've hired them, we've made the offer, we extend that offer for them to work with us, we go to our onboarding boot camp, right? So for us, we typically set it around 15 days because I think that's enough time to get them to know the entire company, who's working here. You guys can take a picture if you want. And obviously get them in call reviews, role plays, one-on-one coaching, So that's that. And finally, this is my entire acquisition manager playbook for you guys. If you guys want to scan that QR code or just type in this link right here, just save it for yourself. We're going to go over, like I said, it comes with the scorecard, our exact onboarding processes, our lead manager script that we use, how to prevent closer burnout, because salespeople burn out. From my experience, after 2 to 3 months, you got to send them on like a vacation, go get them a massage or something. Beginning, middle, and end of day processes, how to ensure consistent sales performance as a closer, and finally, my objection handling matrix, which are compiled of some of the best resources that I've liked when it comes to ramping acquisition managers. So I think you guys can agree that we've covered a lot, right? And my throat is definitely starting to feel it. So I want to recap what we've covered thus far. The exact inbound marketing system we use to scale to $100,000 per month. The exact sales process we use to close 1 out of every 10 to 15 leads that come in. The talent acquisition manager to hire people and build a culture with praise over punishment. Let's talk about data tracking, right? This is my experience. Again, your biggest competitor is not smarter than you. He simply has more data and better data to help them make decisions in order to how to actually scale. So there's 4 main KPIs that I like to track, right? First thing is return on ad spend, right? For us, the question that we ask is for every dollar we put in, how much are we getting out, right? The minimum that we aim for is 3x. So for every dollar you put in, you're getting $3 out. But the target that we're really trying to aim for is at least 5. Second thing is our average assignment fee. We try to aim for that to be around $18,000. And for novations, they lean more towards about $30,000, $35,000 per novation. Cash conversion cycle, we want that to be under 90 days, right? Under 3 months. Finally, net free cash flow, similar to what Sean was talking about. To me, net free cash flow is how much money we can actually take outside of the business and go blow it on cars, yachts, boats, whatever you guys like, right? Because at the end of the day, from my experience, our clients are in this business not for the most revenue, but for profit so they can spend out on their kids, right? So that's what we're optimizing for. We want our free cash flow or net profit margin to be above 40%. For context, our biggest client that is doing $500,000 a month, his net margin is 57% when I interviewed him. So that's a lot of money if you ask me, right? This is something you guys can take a picture. I'm not going to go through every single one, but these are some of the KPIs that we track. for the marketing side, marketing department, click-through rate, CPM is cost per 1,000 impressions. How much does it cost to reach 1,000 people on Facebook? Cost per MQL, and MQL is a marketing qualified lead, seller who needs to sell with a realistic motivation and realistic timelines, right? So we want those because that's what we're optimizing for. Finally, lead booking rate. So what percentage of leads actually become appointments, right? Sales, some of these are the high level ones that we track. So lead to contract ratio, how many leads does it take to convert into a contract? Your contract to close percentage, that tells me how good your dispo is, your dispositions team, your cost per contract, your cost per closed deal, and then your return on your ad spend. This, and then on the right side is finance. To me, I'm a big finance person. So I want to know what percentage of your marketing is, or what percentage of your P&L goes to marketing. For us, we try to be under 20% of your P&L. Second thing is payroll and sales commissions. Obviously, people want to get paid, which is why they either work for you or have their own company. Third thing is softwares and overhead. How much are you spending on softwares, payroll software, CRMs, whatever the case is, calling, fees, legal and finance. Obviously, in wholesaling, people get sued, and you want to have a good legal team to make sure that doesn't happen or prevent any bad lawsuits. Finally, something that I added myself is personal development, which stands for PD, coaching consultant. For me, I try to aim to have at least 5% of my P&L go to coaching and consulting every single month. And on the bottom here, I created a client ROI tracker where a client can plug in their metrics and project where their business is going to be at in the next 6 to 12 months using client data that we have. So if you guys want that, feel free to ask that after. Final closing thoughts that I have, the biggest guys in the space that I've worked with, they're not, I wouldn't say the smartest people, they're not like wizards, geniuses. They are simply people that just have better resources and the right people around them, right? Second thing is revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash flow is reality. Understand the objective, right? Are you optimizing for revenue, profit, or cash flow? For me and our clients, it's typically cash flow. Third thing is, from my experience again, nobody's business is going as good as they should be, right? I go to a lot of like conferences, meetups, things like that, and you ask somebody, how's your business going? And they say, dude, it's going spectacular. I'm like, okay, sure. Final thing is that the entire reason I create this presentation is to share the behind the scenes of what's actually working to help our clients scale. So with that said, do you guys have any questions that I can answer for you guys? I'll be here all night. And if you guys have anything, I'm here to help you guys. You guys want to run some ads? We can run some ads too. So any questions? Ronnie.
A little bit. What got you started? I know it's pretty cliche, but me it was TikTok.
Yes. So I started when I was 15. So this was around 2020, and during that time, school shut down, right? So I was like, okay, I can either be a bum like my sister, and and watch TikToks all day, or I can find a way to make money. And at that time, my dream was to always get a MacBook, right? Because I went from a charter school to a public school, right? So there's no lockers, like kids are fighting in the restrooms. I'm like, what the hell is this, right? And for me, I really wanted to feel wealthy, like we all do. And my goal was to make money so I can afford a MacBook. So I learned about marketing, and I learned from Robert Kiyosaki. I'm sure everybody knows who that is. Where if you learn to market and you can learn to sell, you can do any business in the world. So for that, I drove into the marketing agency space, obviously to make money consistently and level up my skill set as well. So the beautiful thing I love about running a marketing company or wholesaling is that the skills you learn and acquire along the way are unmatched, right? Because I can take the skills from wholesaling or marketing and apply it to any business, software, running a content agency, whatever the case is. And assuming everything stays the same, I should be able to succeed in that as well. So been doing that for a quarter of my life now. So yeah.
Do you have any strategies that you use for like wholesaler or wholesaler marketing or agent or anything?
Do I have any
strategies that you utilize in your marketing?
Yes. So if we want to get on a tactical level, I'll speak on Facebook as an example. So the question was, just so I can restate it, was do I have any specific strategies as to how I market for wholesalers as opposed to agent outreach and things like that? Was that correct? Okay. So the way that I run our ads, like I mentioned, was we focus on running specific motivations as opposed to running generic we buy houses ads. So that helps with lead quality. It costs a little bit more, but like I said, our clients are willing to make that trade. And then when it comes to like Google ads, for example, with pay per click. So Facebook and Google, if you guys don't know, charge differently. On PPC, pay per click, you're paying per click. It's in the name. We run. So there's 3 types of keywords to get specific. There's broad match keywords, which are the cheapest ones, but also low quality. There's phrase match, which is in the middle, and then there's exact match, right? So these are your highest quality, most expensive lead. So for us, we aim to only work with, or we only run broad match phrase match and exact match keywords. So we get a little bit of a higher cost per lead, but so is the lead quality. So that results in higher conversion rates. Ronnie?
Do you have I guess a marketing plan for wholesalers that are looking for buyers per se?
Yes. So I wanted to do that, share that with you guys today, but obviously there's time constraints. So when it comes to running ads for cash buyers, there's 2 ways you can do it, right? The first one is you can market specific deals like an investment opportunity. And the second way you can go about that is just adding people to your buyers list, right? So if you have like example of a carousel of past deals you've done, you can add them to a carousel post on Facebook and add people to your cash buyers list, nurture an email list. You can have it in your, so example, one of our bigger clients, what they like to do is they have pretty big social media followings. So in their bio, they add a link where you can either JV with them, like Novation King, or you can be added to their cash buyers list, and they'll, treat you, or they'll nurture you, send you deals, things like that. So yeah, that's for finding buyers. Anything else? Nope. Well, if you guys somewhat got value, got just maybe one, all I ask is that you check out my Instagram down there and my YouTube. So for context, behind the scenes context, this presentation is from a video that I recorded that's not up yet. It's going to be called 4 Steps to Unfuck Your Wholesale Business. So I took that blueprint and I added that here. So that video is going to be like almost 2 hours long. So it goes even into more depth of what we use. So yeah, that's all I have. Appreciate you guys.